this is Raina with LYLO Crafts coming on today as part of Saturday Morning Makes. This is an open collaboration that is hosted by Jill, and she goes by Jillian Norwood on YouTube, and it is a place and a forum where you can share anything that you have been working on and use the hashtag SatMornMakes. And I will put a link to Jill's channel in the description box below, along with a hashtag, and I hope that you will join in. And so this week I've been working on sleds, and gingerbread sleds or gingerbread sleighs specifically. And so the first two that I'm going to start off with are just these sweet little gingerbreads sitting on these wood sleds that I purchased from Dollar Tree. And the gingerbreads are also from Dollar Tree. My sweet crafty friend, Happy and Crafty, my bestie, crafty bestie, was able to find me one of the boys and one of the girls. And so what I did was I picked up two different styles of the wood unfinished sleds. And what I did was I painted them out red on the seat and also the handlebars. Okay, I used ultra fine glitter to make them really sparkly. And then I accented them with these little what do you call them? Polymer clay pieces. And for this guy's reins, I used twine that I braided together. And this is 6 pieces of twine that is braided together. And I glued him there. And for this sweet gingerbread girl, I went around her sled and I outlined the sled this time with those peppermint pieces. I used that same red paint to paint out the seat as well as the bar that goes through here. And this time I used iridescent pearl beads instead because she's a sweet girl. And then of course her sled needs to be topped off with a little red bow. So these were super fun and easy to make. Okay, and for my gingerbread sled, here it is. And I turned this into this. And so it was one of those red plastic sleds from the Dollar Tree, and I was able to turn it into this. And I think the whole cost on this was about $5 to make, so very inexpensive. And this design was totally inspired by Valerie Parhill. I searched on Google and under gingerbread sled, and I saw one come up that she's selling on HSN, and I thought, oh my gosh, that seems pretty simple and doable. And this was a much more inexpensive option for how to do it. And so you can see that I painted out that red bin in this brown color, and then I frosted around the edges, and I added in these very sweet gumdrops, and I've got these little bases on here, and then the bottom is our candy canes, and then the whole thing is glittered up with those chunky glitter sprinkles. So it was super fun and loved making it. And if you would like to see how to make this, then stay tuned and I'll show you how. Okay, let's start off with the items that you're going to need to make this project. And so you're going to need, first and foremost, that Dollar Tree base. And you're going to need some apple barrel paint or just some gingerbread paint. And mine is called Territorial Beige that I've been using. And I really liked that paint. You're going to need a paintbrush. You'll need a pair of scissors. You will need some caulk. And I bought this Tool Bench all-purpose caulk, and it has the fine tip applicator. So I bought this at the Dollar Tree. And you'll need some glitter. You'll need some spray adhesive. You'll need some E6000 or some sturdy glue. You'll need some stickles. You will need some of these. I used gumdrops from this, My Little Christmas. It was $1.50 for this entire bag, and you don't need all of it. You're going to use a ruler, a pencil, And then I used 4 of these little wooden snowmen that I hauled from the Dollar Tree, but you can use anything that would be like a spacer. And then lastly, you're gonna need some candy canes for the bottom. And the ones that I chose were from the Dollar Tree. And you can see they come in this box. There are 6 in here, and they were on sale for $6.50. So those are the items that you need. Oh, and a little bit of hot glue. Okay, so let me clear this off. And then we can get started on how to make these sleds. And so the first step is to go ahead and just paint out your sled on all of the sides. And I also painted the inside of mine. And this is just one coat. So I might have to, looks like I've nicked it over here. So I'm probably going to have to go in and touch it up a bit. And then I'm going to have to paint this bottom portion. And so before I do that, I actually am going to glue these little snowman onto this sled right here to make the feet to attach to the candy canes that we're going to be using as the actual sled pieces. The metal pieces on the bottom. So I am going to go ahead and use hot glue to hold these in place, but I'm also going to use E6000. So I'm going to do the E6000 first, and then I'm going to put the hot glue on top of the E6000 so that it will make a more firm bond. Okay, so can you see that? I've got my 4 feet hot glued in, and you can see my E6000 is actually black. And again, this is on the bottom, so you're not going to see it at all. So I'm just using what I had on hand. I didn't have any clear left. And so I'm going to let this set overnight, and then I'm going to paint out the bottom as well as the legs in the same gingerbread color, and then we'll get to decorating. Okay, so your next step is going to be to create the lines on your sled so that you can put your icing on like I've done here. And what I used was just this ruler that I had, and I lined it up with the first angle that I wanted, and then I drew a line on both sides, and then I used the ruler as the spacer for all of the lines that I drew. And so then once you've drawn those lines, and you want to be careful when you draw the lines to line it up on the side as it goes around. See how these lines meet right here, and how these lines meet right here on the edge. So I tried to be very careful about the way that I did those lines. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your caulk, and again, I got mine at the Dollar Tree, and you're going to use this as icing. Now it's pretty hard to do. I do have to say, you do have to squeeze with a lot of pressure. So what I have found is that if I fold the top of the caulk down, I just push the caulk down to the bottom, kind of like you would in a pastry bag. So I push it to the bottom, and then I bend it right where it is. That allows me to be able to put pressure on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my caulk, and I'm going to go straight down this pencil line that you can see right there. And it's okay that if you make a pencil mark line, and then and you can see I made my little blob a little bit too fat here. So I'm going to just pick it off. That's what's nice about using this caulk, is that you can pick it up. But what I was saying was, if you are, let's see here, if you scratch some of the paint off when you use your pencil, it's okay, because you are going to cover over that with this caulk, with this frosting, using this as frosting. So you can see I'm just drawing my line all the way down. Okay, I've got one more line to draw, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to put icing on the edge, and then we are going to act as if, or we're going to ice it as if some of the icing had flowed over the edge. So I'm just going to freehand this, and you can make your blob come down a little longer. You can, and again, with this, you can totally smooth it out. So I'm going to do a little bit more over here and go all the way across, and another one starting to drip down. It's kind of hard to do when I can't see, because I'm trying to do it so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so I've got all of my little icing in, as you can see here, and then before it dries, we're going to put our little gumdrops on to add to this. Now, I am choosing just to use the red and the green, but you can use any of the gumdrops or all of the gumdrop colors or anything really that you would want to decorate yours with. But since my gingerbread tree and my little theme is going to be red and green, primarily red and white, I just thought, you know what, I'm going to just use those colors on mine. So all I'm doing is pulling off just the colors that I want from the little gumdrop garland, and just putting them in, spacing them out, try to get them evenly spaced so they don't have to be perfect. But I'm just trying to, and what I'm doing is pushing them actually into the frosting that you could see here. Oops, that one's a little close. See, you can just move it like that, and just put them all around. Okay, so I've got all of them in place, as you can see right here. And so the next thing that we're going to do is to attach these candy canes to the bottom of the sled. Now, these candy canes that I got from Hobby Lobby come with a topper like this. So I just unscrewed this topper just like that, and then I took my scissors and I clipped off that end. So that's all you have to do on those to get those ends off, and then you end up with a hole. And so let me show you. The first thing I did is I filled the hole with hot glue, and then I hit it with just a little bit of red paint to kind of blend it in, and then I'm going to hit it with stickles. Okay, so I've got my red stickles here, and I'm literally going to just glitter that up, and I'm going to make sure I go around all sides. So when it's there, nobody's even going to notice it. It's just going to blend right on in. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to attach these little candy canes to be the little skis on the bottom of the sled. I don't know the real name for what you call that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the hot glue on the bottom of the feet and apply it that way. Okay, you can see that I've got a generous amount of hot glue on there, and I'm just going to try and place it right on top, and I'm going to line up the back ends of the two of them. You want to make sure that your candy cane is pointing up the way that you would like it to point up. Okay, so once I got those bottom candy canes on, I thought they were just too bright to go with the gumdrops, the sugared gumdrops on the top. So I decided to do one last step, which was to sugar up the whole thing. And I think it really toned down the candy canes and tied it all together. And so what I did was I just sprayed it with spray adhesive, and then I sprinkled that chunky glitter on all around. And I just think it turned out so cute. So that is my project share for today for Saturday Morning Makes. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you subscribe. And I hope you have an amazing day. Bye-bye.